Alright, this is section 8-4 on solving inequalities by adding or subtracting. So we're going to start with just knowing that inequalities are less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So that's the first step. And let's go to example number 1. It says x plus 3 is greater than 10. So what I want you to know is we're going to solve this the same way as an equation. Draw your line down through the greater than sign, and now get your variables and constants together. So we're going to do the opposite. That's subtract 3. So x drops down, greater than drops down, 10 minus 3 is 7. So our answer is x is greater than 7. Alright, now, just so we're aware also, in order to graph this, x is greater than 7. If we had a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this will be an open circle on 7, shading to the right since it's everything greater than 7. And notice that's also pointing to the right. If it was an arrow, it'd be like it's pointing to the right. So that's the same way our arrow goes. Let's go to example 2. Example number 2 says -6 greater than or equal to n minus 5. Again, draw your line through the inequality sign. Getting n by itself, we got two constants, so this constant, -5, needs to go to the left. So I'm going to add 5. I'm going to do it on both sides. Those cancel out. That's greater than or equal to sign drops down. Now we've got -6 plus 5. The signs are different, so you subtract and you use the sign of the bigger number, which it's negative. So -1 is greater than or equal to n. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to flip that around. We always want to try to write these so that the letter is first. So n is less than or equal to -1. Notice how I flipped the entire thing around. If you kind of read it backwards, n is less than or equal to -1 if -1 is greater than or equal to n. So flip it around. Now, once you've flipped it around so that the letter's first, now go ahead and take a stab at graphing it. There's 0 and -1. Since this is a less than or equal to, I have to color in the dot. And then since it says less than, that's pointing to the left, so I need to shade everything that is less than or left of -1. So that's example number 2. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 says to solve a plus 1/2 is less than 2. Again, draw your line through the less than sign. You got variable, constant, constant. I need to take that constant over there. So I'm going to subtract 1/2. That leaves me with a less than, and 2 minus 1/2 I know is 1 and 1/2. But just so we're aware here, this is one of those maybe to do on the side. We need to get, since we're subtracting, get common denominators. So times it by 2 times 2, we get 4 over 2 minus 1 over 2. And 4 minus 1 is 3. Bottom stays the same, and 3/2, as you know, is the same as 1 and 1/2. So you could either have a is less than 1 and 1/2, or you could have a is less than 3/2. And we also know as decimal form that's 1.5, but I don't believe this wants to have that since it's in fraction form always. And graphing that, we know 0 is there, 1 and 1/2. If that's 2, that's where the 1 and 1/2 will be. So I'm going to put an open circle there since it's just less than, and I'm shading to the left side. So that's example number 3. Let's go to example number 4. Says Antonio has at most $18 to go to ride go-karts and play games at the state fair. If the go-karts cost $5.50, how much can he spend on games? Well, so go-karts plus games have to be, it says at most actually means less than or equal to 18. So what he spends has to be less than or equal to $18. If he can't spend more than that because he doesn't have that much money. But anyways, GO standing for the go-karts, GA standing for games. The go-karts was $5.50 plus the games, we'll just leave that as G now, is less than or equal to 18. So solve this the same way you did the other ones. It's a positive $5.50. So subtract $5.50. The games have to be less than or equal to, if you subtract that out, it would be $12.50. So again, how much can he spend on games? It would be up to $12.50. Games have to be less than or equal to $12.50. And that is the end of 8-4.